Hi, everyone. I am here to sort of reflect on our first week of school. Um, been homeschooling for a while, okay? I've homeschooled. I have a 28-year-old, and I homeschool him, or technically, it may have been more like a unschool him because he was in public school, Christian school. Then his last 2 years, I brought him home to kind of finish it up. And I have three kids now that are currently in school. And I've been homeschooling ever since my daughter, my 16-year-old, was 4. So I guess that puts us at 12 years. So I've been homeschooling for 12 years. And it seems like I change every year. I come up with something new every year. So this particular year, because I've started on my Scrum Master journey, all things Agile, all things Scrum, I decided, okay, you know what? It's probably going to probably take some time for me to get a job in this particular field. And why not try these agile principles and Scrum methodology with my kids, right? How can I use it in my homeschool? So we started that. This has been our first week, and I'm gonna kind of talk a little bit through that, I guess. And but before I share that, I do want to share this here if I can, if it'll let me share it. So let me see if I can share this with you here. So this little scene is on a video, and I just could not resist because I think it does sort of reflect one of the reasons why I decided homeschool was for our family for sure. You have the kids coming in, they go into school, okay? And of course, this is not representation of all schools. And as they go in there in that place where they are to go to conform, right? Or to be socialized, it's sucking out their creativity, it's sucking out their intelligence, right? And then look at them. They getting their diplomas though. They are getting their diplomas. So here they are. Look at them. Happy coming in, and we're not sure what is coming out. So here at our homeschool, we've been homeschooling, like I said, for a while. And this is my first year of trying something like this, right? Leveraging being in IT and doing something with my kids. So here we are. So our first week of school, and yeah, I'm not doing a PowerPoint. Maybe one day I will to reflect. Maybe especially if I get some reports and show our dashboard and want to show it off or something like that down the road. Maybe that will be the thing. But right now, I'm just putting this up here to remind me too. This is our first week of school, and I'm just reflecting on that. I am using Jira as one of my project, the management tool that I'm using to track the subjects, their subjects and their assignments. And it was a rough start. Okay, we had our I created a Confluence page. Let's see if I can. I don't really want to show it, but we're going to look at a little bit of the Confluence, just a little bit. So we have a space for us. That space for our homeschool here, it talks about like who we are, the mission, our product goal, general sprint. This is our family. This is the blog that I'm doing. I even have to write a blog about the first week, and I have not done it yet. And it's not published yet, so it's not out here. But this is school is starting soon. This is a post that I did for the kids before we started. We also I also created this first page here that had like some list, and I end up moving that list to a issues board in Jira to kind of track there's some things I needed them to do, make sure I want them to have before we had our sprint planning. Now we're having our sprint planning. Our sprint starts on Friday. Okay. Starts on Friday. Weird day to start, I know. I don't know if we're going to change it or not. Our daily scrum, we started at, well, let's back up. When we started the sprint planning, we wanted to discuss things like when do we want to have our daily scrum? How do we want things to run? So, what I actually did with them is I gave each of them a kind of like a sheet to, um, a sheet to kind of with time slots. So I put everything on the board. So as you probably, well, maybe you can see if I was a little bit maximized here. So back here, the board, I had all the stuff out there like wake up, bedtime, lunchtime, personal breaks, all that kind of stuff, schoolwork, all that was on there, just kind of scattered on the board. And I gave them a timeline, 6 a.m. down to I think 9 p.m. or something like that. And I told them that I wanted them to, um, what did I want them to do? W- What time did they think? What time did they think we should be getting up? Because in the summer, we didn't really have a time with them getting up and going to bed, that kind of thing. And with the spirit of commitment, I wanted them to be more involved in helping me work through that. Okay. And I was going to keep them reasonable, right? I didn't want them to like, I'm going to get up at 10 o'clock. But people were pretty reasonable with their time, the wake up time, the bedtime. My 10-year-old, she wanted to go to bed at 10 o'clock. And but my teenagers were way more reasonable. They were way more reasonable. So yeah, and we had already started dealing with some of the Scrum principles and explaining the Scrum guide to my kids months ago for another reason, which I will not share here. But um because we didn't end up completing it. So our daily scrum, I know it needs to be at the same time. Well, it's helpful, right? Within your routine. So we start out with like, after hygiene, that kind of thing. It depends on if we already going to have, if we've already eaten breakfast or not. Well, let me just say this. We decided that the only thing concrete right now was wake up and bedtime. We decided everything else should be flexible until we can begin to figure it out. Now, a sequence was we would have, devotion, then we would have daily scrum after devotion, right? Our 15-minute powwow to figure out, make sure everybody was on point. And so that did work every morning devotion, with the exception of I think the one day my daughter had to go to school. And yeah, and I think daily scrum was kind of modified too. So as the week progressed, we decided that scrum probably should be done in the sometime in the afternoon. We try to do a vote on that, and the vote was all over the board for different reasons. So I just had to make an executive decision. It's going to be at 4:30. Okay, so and I wanted to have it about 3ish or something like that because when my daughters she actually suggested it. I said we're not ready for that. So 4:30 I think is a good time, and we'll probably adjust it again. Of course, I don't think this is our final land on the daily scrum, but I think the 4:30 is a better spot with all of our schedule. Because Wednesday we go to church. We have to go early because the kids have choir rehearsal, so it doesn't impede. It doesn't get mixed in there, so it still could be the same time every day, and that was going to be one of the key things there. Um, um, my daughter, my 10-year-old, she took to the board better than anybody. She even was creating her own issues. She said, "Can I add my issue? Can I add something to the board?" Sure. She was really taking ownership of her board, okay, or her issues. She really was taking issues of it, and she sort of messed up some of my stuff, but that's okay. I end up fixing it. I end up letting her issues be the main issues, and I deleted the ones that were duplicates. So once again, that continual backlog refinement. Now, one of the things this week too, I was running out of gas. So right around Wednesday or Thursday, maybe Thursday, I just didn't want to do it anymore. I didn't want to grade anymore. I just didn't want to do anymore. And so now Monday, I was pumped, a little bit sad because I screwed up the whole my whole backlog, which is a whole nother thing. And I guess I should mention this here. So doing our sprint planning that Friday, which was on this, well, actually, it wasn't even Friday. We had to move it up because my daughter had to work on Friday. So we had it on that Thursday, and I went to kind of set up the sprint planning for, and I decided to do 3 weeks. I decided to do a 3 weeks cadence because some of their, they won't have a test until like close to 3 weeks. And I thought that would be a good spot to be. And, because we were going to be meeting daily, I was going to stay on top of them. So we could have those check ins anyway. So having the 3 weeks, we were going to probably have a review every Friday anyway, and all those kind of things anyway. So I didn't really worry about the 3 weeks. I did regret doing 3 weeks. I was hoping I should have done 1 week. Then there would be some sprint tasks that would end up getting moved into the second week and into another third week. So it wouldn't, because it needs to be work that could be completed, the milestone, the definition of done. Some of them just would not fit in 1 week. It's 3 weeks. Okay. So, but some things is going to take only 1 week because they have the test, the milestones are weekly. Um, so what happened was I entered all the data ahead of time, and okay, I had to pause because my son just kept getting louder and louder. I thought we could coexist, but we were having problems coexisting. So, feel like I'll okay, yeah. So I had spent a lot of time with those pre-tasks on the Confluence page to make sure they had all their materials. So that's where you see these bins. I got like 3 bins. I got each one of them a bin to put all their stuff in. Okay. And I don't know if I get the bin situation, but I all the stuff is in one spot, and that's what I wanted. I wanted everything in one spot. And so I thought that I wanted to every all the kids are epics, okay? And epics from a hierarchical standpoint is the highest. It is it's set at a 1. And then and this is in Jura. And then the issues like bug task. So originally I just put all the subjects. I was like they should be a story, which is a story is his hierarchy is at 0. So it can be a task under the epic. Okay. Then I said, okay, so when I went to create a child item for the story, the only option I had was subtask. Didn't think of much about that at the time. And subtasks are set at -1. So in a sprint, subtask do not move into a sprint. I didn't know that. I learned that the hard way. So I had to convert all those subtasks, which end up being, I think, I don't know, 400 of them. It was a lot of them. Okay, it was a lot of work. I'm saying 400, and I really think it was 400. And let's see if I can actually bear that out on that 400 mark here. So let's see here. 400. Um, I actually forgot where, maybe here, my active sprint, or maybe actually in the backlog. I don't remember where I've seen that count before. I have no idea. I don't remember. I do not remember how I will know. Let's take a peek at the dashboard. Like, I kind of feel like my dashboard is not looking good at all. So these are assigned to me. I don't know why I have anything assigned to me. And it is me logged in, right? Yeah, it's me. This sprint, we have 9 days remaining in the sprint. I'm pretty sure my burn down gadget isn't working right, so I don't want to scroll down there. Um, assigned to me. And maybe this is a good thing to know. Oh, you know what? These are, except for this. This is not mine, but these are my task. But you notice from a key, they're from a different key. Yeah. So that's cool. Um, this is the projects. Yeah. I have no idea how many, but I thought it was 400. That sounds about right. 460. It was a lot of them. Anyway, and that's what sparked the video I had. I did a video on removing items or bulk moving items and stuff like that. I found that out from the all the crazy mistakes I made there. And I ended up making two more videos even tonight that I'm recording this video on Friday night to end the school week. Yeah, so overall I think it was a good week. My daughter, my 10-year-old, seemed to be very much excited about the whole thing. She loved to see those cards move, the highlight, how it happens. She really likes to do it. And she was in her time. Um, they're using stopwatches. I told them they can either guesstimate on how long it was taking them or, use a stopwatch to know exactly how much time it was taking to do those tasks. So my daughter, sometimes they would remember, sometimes they didn't. I was like, okay, just guesstimate, just guesstimate. This is just hopefully this data is going to be used to help set our second sprint. And right now I'm still in between. Should I do a 3 week sprint or go to a 1 week? Part of me wants to go to a 1 week, but the other part of me is like, stay with the 3 week, girl. Stay with the 3 week. But just group. I need to group because there are two subjects that are not completely on the board because they're over 100 lessons. And so, and my daughter, especially with her Spanish, so she's doing Spanish. We're doing Greek. Me and my 10-year-old is doing Greek, like primers. They are very much like a primer. It'll really get you the foundation you need to learn those languages because it gives you really tidbit small information for you to learn and yeah, and build on that. So that's what we're doing. There was some good reviews on it on those books. So we're most definitely gonna we're gonna see how that goes this year. My daughter's excited about learning Greek. I think she also want to learn others, but the Greek, um, we should be able to get through it. And yeah, so our daily scrum, we don't do much about talking about, what do you have planned to do today or you have any impediments or anything like that. We basically, I just said, are you guys ready for today? And I probably have already looked at the board that morning and seeing where things are. And I'm starting to write things right here on the board. I need to transfer them to something else. And these are subject matters I would like to talk about in the daily scrum. So it's the daily scrum is going to be more of an educational thing. Um, um, maybe like even a pep rally sometimes. Um, yeah. So just looking to be, and also created this. I have a box for them to put in suggestions because I want them to come up with different ideas, things. So for when we do have the retrospective, right? Because we're becoming we're becoming more efficient, right? Um, as like I think my son like to call himself the goat. So as we're trying to become that super duper team that that my kids will grow, and maybe I will share next time And I don't know if I wanna call it excuse me, the product goal and the sprint goal. I may change the language a little bit, make it more conducive for family, right? Or home educating versus using the same terms that are used in the Scrum, but probably use other terms. So currently, I'm just mapping terms for Scrum into the school. So currently, sprint goal, product goal, that's the language I'm using right now. I should probably keep it simple with mission and vision. Is probably where I should just put that. The mission would be in line with the product goal, and then the mission would be more in line with the sprint goal. And then for each, for the general sprint goal, meaning overall general what I'm expecting to be happening every sprint. But then in each individual sprint in on the juror board, I can actually just add whatever information I think I need to add. So yeah, so I overall I think the week went pretty well. Um, yeah, the kids are so glad it's the weekend. And Imma have to be honest too, I am so glad it's the weekend. I ran out of gas, like I said, right around Thursday. I was like, "Oh, is it not over yet?" So, maybe, we need to find a work and maybe one of the goals we put is, how can we work 4 days a week? Okay, 'cause, yeah, we need an extra day for the weekend. So, hopefully, that would be one of those cool things that's gonna happen out of this that we'll be able to do that. Um, as far as the with my 2 teenagers sort of being in high school, my 10-year-old, you know, we got a ways to go there, but the teenagers, we are really starting to need to focus on what do we need to actually just get them done, right? What are the requirements for our state and just make sure we on schedule to get those things done. And I do want to get begin to kind of break out uh plain stuff about um yeah. So I don't know. The we call the school the name of our school is Just Faith Academies, and there's a history behind that name. I've had it for so long, right? And I'm going to try to basically begin to so we're working on the agile school, what we're doing here, and there's a lot of things we want to do. I want to do with the teenagers, and I'm running out of time. I am so running out of time. I was hoping that my kids will be a little bit more excited about coding and because there's a couple of things I wanted to do for the school for our homeschool that I may run out of time doing. And my little 10-year-old, she may be my go-to person when it comes to that. I don't know. And but we'll see. We'll see. This I think I've been on here long enough. I do look forward to a weekly recap of school. Hopefully next time I'll have some updates on something, right? On how it's going. But right now everything is going pretty good and I'm so glad it's the end of the week. This is a weekend I'm going to remember. This is the weekend. So I'm going to just pray to the Lord. Lord, just thank you for getting us through this week. And as we decide to I don't know, you see this chalk on the back of this wall? We never removed it. I think it's probably easy to clean too. I may try to clean it because it just I'm looking at it in the background now and it's really just kind of irking me at this point now. Um but this is our area. This is where we are. And I remember my daughter telling me about that chalk on the board. She was like, "Y'all never said anything." So I just kept, 'Cause there's some probably some chalk on the other side too as well. So, yeah, here we go. This is the end of the week. So glad it is the end of the week, and, and by the grace of God, we'll be looking forward to next week to even be better. So I will talk to you later. Thanks.